Well, hello and welcome to Spiritual Warfare. In phase one in boot camp, you learn history, traditions, Marine Corps knowledge, etc. You perform more physical fitness than you probably ever did in your life. And sometimes you think your body's going to fail you, but realize at some point later that you can handle it. You learn marching and drill that teaches you instant response to orders. Mm-hmm. And you're bombarded with everything that seems like chaos. You think that your body can't handle it, right? You think you can't handle it emotionally, physically. And trust me when I tell you this, every Marine at some point early in boot camp, the thought crossed their mind about quitting, about walking up to that drill instructor and saying, "This recruit refuses to train." Now, there's something that keeps you going. Now, some people couldn't make it. It is what it is. In fact, I went to boot camp the first time in 1986. I think I was there approximately a month when I couldn't put a boot on. My foot had swollen up to a point where I couldn't get my foot in the boot. I go to sick call, and at 18 years old, I made the mistake of looking at that Navy podiatrist and telling him my foot looked like this as far back as I can remember. What was it? It was a bunion. So they kicked me out, gave me an entry-level separation. Took me 3 years, 2 surgeries, congressional inquiry, help from the commandant directly at the time, and a waiver package that was lost twice in headquarters Marine Corps. Before I was finally able to go back to Parris Island and start training day 1 all over again. Yeah, I was a retread. Not many people can claim that. But anyway, something keeps you going in boot camp. Phase 2, you start to get used to it. You learn how to shoot. Phase 3, you learn basic combat skills. And at this point, or at some point in this process, something clicks in your mind. You realize you can do more individually than you ever thought you could. You can accomplish anything as a team of Marines. Your mind has been renewed to what it means to be a United States Marine. Oh, and your heart has been changed to what it means to be a United States Marine. Yes, that's right. It's not just a mindset, it's also a heart change. Marines would rather give their life than to dishonor what it means to be a United States Marine. And the only way you can truly say that is if it's both in your heart and in your mind. The combination of both. So you're in the title. You get called Marine for the first time. But guess what? That doesn't mean that you're not going to learn anything else or hone your skills. Marines are constantly learning and growing. And it also doesn't mean that you're always going to be a 5-0 Marine. In fact, there's never a 5-0 Marine or a perfect Marine. Okay? Never a perfect Marine. There's always, at best, a 4.9 Marine. There's always something that we can improve upon. There's never a 5-0 Christian, just like there's never a 5-0 Marine. There's never a 5-0 spiritual warrior either. And remember this, even the sniper team is a team of 2. You got to have somebody there to pick you up when you fall, to put a boot up your backside when you mess it up and you need it. For new believers, you got to have a mentor in the faith. In our previous episode, we spoke about getting that mentor in the faith, somebody you can latch on to and you can trust. That person needs to be, for lack of a better word or best word, a mature Christian, one who can help you grow. All right, so think about this. Ecclesiastes 4, 9, and 10. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Proverbs 27, 17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Hebrews 10, 24 and 25 through 25. And let us consider how we may spur one another toward love and good deeds, but encouraging one another. Proverbs 15:22. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise. Wow, what a concept. You hang out with somebody who's smarter than you, and you'll get smarter. But you also should go through a fundamentals of faith class of some kind. And if your church doesn't offer that, find one that does. Learn to listen for and hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. And trust me when I tell you this, as a new believer, you're going to want to give up more than one time. Why? Because you look at yourself and you say, gee, what a wretched man am I? Then something clicks, ladies and gentlemen. That commitment you made, that decision you made, they become one thing. Somehow they become one thing. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Colossians 3:10. And have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. Ephesians 4:22 through 24. To put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. Jeremiah 17:10. I, the Lord, search the heart and test the mind, to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his deeds. Ezekiel 36:26. And I will give you a new heart. Then there's things that we like to call, as Marines, basic warfare skills. And we find a lot of it throughout the Bible, but specifically in Ephesians chapter 6, it talks about the whole armor of God. And there's a lot of teaching out there about the whole armor of God. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of the whole armor right now, but what I will say is this. What I've found that the teaching is lacking is an understanding of that first, that armor has to fit. It has to be individually fitted, if you will. And then B, you have to learn how to wear it. And then C, you have to learn how to use it. Listen, the Marine Corps doesn't throw a helmet on that doesn't fit, throw a body armor that doesn't fit, throw a uniform on that doesn't fit, and send you into combat. It's ridiculous. If the helmet's too big, the helmet flops down over your eyes, you can't see nothing. So yes, in order to effectively utilize the whole armor of God, it has to be fitted to you. And that's a process by itself. And then you have to learn how to wear it. Then learn how to use it. After that, your advanced training follows. Then you also have to practice what you've been trained. It's one thing to learn how to shoot a rifle, know how to put on that body armor. But if you never practice what you've been trained, how do you think you're going to react when you have to get into it? Right? All right, listen, on our next episodes, upcoming episodes, the next one's going to be on the enemy's opportunities to deceive you. And then another episode will be on honing your skills, including service to the king. Another episode will follow on the battle. And then finally, spiritual spec ops. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I look forward to doing another episode soon. CEMA later. Where is mine? Okay. So bootcamp begins, right? Battery saver is on. He never plugged this in. Can I pause this?